I'm Shauna from Island Skin Solutions. If you're looking for an alternative to waxing and shaving, we have a solution for you. Our laser hair removal offers long-lasting, safe, and effective results. This month, we're offering 15% off of our laser hair removal packages, which are already buy 3, get 1 free. If you're interested in laser hair removal, contact us to set up your consultation today.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. Got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
Hi, I'm Shauna Brenfleck, nurse practitioner and owner of Island Skin Solutions and Wellness Clinic. We are Saipan's only medical spa offering a wide range of services to meet your unique skincare goals. We offer exclusive medical grade skincare products that can only be purchased from a licensed medical professional. We also have the CNMI's only master esthetician who offers new patient consultations that include a mini facial tailored to your needs. Schedule your consultation today to get started on your skincare journey.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Israel's defense minister threatened Iran's supreme leader after Iranian missiles damaged a hospital in southern Israel today. Residential buildings near Tel Aviv also hit, at least 240 people wounded. Meantime, Ed Donahue has the latest from Washington.
A decision from President Trump on Iran will not be coming soon. The president has been talking about the possibility of joining Israel in strikes against Iran and its nuclear program.
You don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt read a statement from the president.
Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks.
Leavitt was asked why the president thinks there is a substantial chance of negotiations.
I'm not going to get into the reasoning and the rationale the president believes that, but that's his position.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the president will do what's best for America.
The partnership with the United States, the partnership with President Trump, with whom I speak to almost every day, is incredible.
Iran has long maintained its nuclear program is for peaceful purposes. Ed Donahue, Washington.
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says he may impose new tariffs on U.S. steel and aluminum on July 21st, depending on the progress of trade talks with President Trump. The president has signed an executive order to keep TikTok running in the U.S. for another 90 days. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says he's providing more time for a deal to bring the social media platform under American ownership.
The political reasoning for this, of course, is because the president made a promise to keep TikTok on. There are 100 million Americans who use this app. It's wildly popular. He also wants to protect Americans' data and privacy concerns on this app, and he believes we can do both things at the same time.
Hurricane Eric's made landfall in western Oaxaca state in Mexico, now a Category 3 storm. This is AP News. It's Juneteenth. Marcela Sanchez has a report.
It commemorates the day Union soldiers brought news of freedom to enslaved black people in Texas. In New Hampshire, the Black Heritage Trail hosted events.
Among the things they would have felt when they found out that they heard about it 2 years late.
Reverend Robert Thompson.
Maybe there was some joy.
Director Emeritus.
There might have been some anger.
In Portsmouth, the African Burial Ground Memorial Park is also set to be rededicated. This year's celebrations come as President Trump has banned banned diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in the federal government and removed content about Black American history from federal websites. He has not publicly marked the day. New Hampshire is not among the states with a permanent Juneteenth holiday, and Executive Director Jerry Ann Bogus says she's losing hope on lawmakers taking action. Still, she hopes events like these will make a difference. I'm Marcela Sanchez.
And I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996.
Still, she
Shop
hopes events
PHI
like these
Pharmacy
will
for
make
all
a
your
difference.
prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
And good morning. It's a brand new day in the Marianas. Coffee's hot and we're full of promise. From Saipan to Teeny and feel the glow. We've got the stories you wanna know. Sway, the traffic's light, sunrise news, we're feeling right. Tune in now, don't miss your chance. Start your day with Island Dance. And good morning. Good morning, Marianas. Good morning, Marianas.
From the depths of waters where the coral kingdoms gleam, free noble fish now rise to claim the people's dream. Of shimmering strength and spirit bold, they swim with rightful pride. Who will wear the coral crown and stand our ocean's guide? Oh, crown the state fish, let the ocean sing. The bonita, the boulder bang. Raise up your voices, let your spirit decide which island swimmer will reign with pride. From the Marianas, a choice shall be made, a symbol of our seas, forever displayed. Vote today. Vote today. From the depths of waters where the coral kingdoms gleam, free noble fish now rise to claim the people's dream. With shimmering strength and spirit bold, they swim with rightful pride. Who will wear the coral crown and stand our ocean's guide? Oh, crown the state fish, let the ocean sing. The bonita, the boulder bang. Raise up your voices, let your spirit decide which island swimmer will reign with pride. From the Marianas, a choice shall be made, a symbol of our seas, forever displayed. Vote today.
All right, good morning, Marianas.
Vote today.
You can vote for your state fish.
Vote today.
Hey, I'll
I'll tell you what, that banger is going to be around for a long time, at least until June 30th, because that's when the voting wraps up for you to be able to choose your state fish. I love it. I think it's the funniest thing ever, and I crack myself up. I listened to that song so many times yesterday. I can't even tell you. But hey, the important thing is you can vote for your state fish. Which fish has the Riz? That's what they want to know, because one of the characteristics, or one of the qualifiers to determine your state fish is which one has the most charisma. Which one has charisma? I don't know. I think they're probably fine talkers, maybe fin talkers. I'm sure they're okay, but I don't know if they got all the Riz. I don't know if they're going to come over there, and I'm going to dial that one back a little bit. Holy cow! JC Cafe is watching this morning. JC Cafe, I love you. We love you. Our whole family loves you, actually. I got to tell you. It is the highlight whenever we take a trip to Tinian, is to go there and get your food. But when one of us goes and the whole family can't go, and we bring it back, oh my gosh, it's like a hunter going out into the woods and coming back with a feast for the family. Everybody celebrates when we get JC Cafe from Tinian. So, man, you guys are the best. I love you. Plus, you guys are so awesome. Like, when I get there, I feel like I'm walking in to like visiting friends and family every single time I go there. You guys are just outstanding. I love you, JC Cafe in Tinian. You are second to none. That's it. And Tobat Castro, good morning, man. You're hitting us up on 2 accounts today, on your wife's account and yours. That is dedication, my friend. That is dedication. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Luisa Cabrera, she's already talking about that game last night. Is that the home run game? I mean, geez, Louise, I was seeing it in my comments last night in my WhatsApp chats. We want to give you a call this morning and talk about that a little bit. Patrick Castro, good morning. Thanks for tuning in today. Great to see you as well. Really appreciate it. I love seeing all the comments when you guys are weighing in and saying, hey, but it's great to have you all turned in. I want to give a shout out to the folks over at Public Lands, because they get to kick back and relax. They don't have to do any work anymore. No, not really. But that's because Public Works is taking over all of the Liberation Day and their Liberation Day lane assignments on the road if you want to set up your tents and all that stuff on the public plats. Yeah, we could do that, by the way. But they're taking care of all the public plots, and there's an actual lottery that's going to start. I wonder what happened. I wonder what got them to make that change from DPL to DPW for giving away those plots of land for just for whatchamacallit, excuse me, just for liberation. It should be wild. Got some comments about the parade yesterday, by the way. Someone's like, holy cow, what is that superstructure on Beach Road for the parade? It looks like, it looks freaking solid, and it costs like a lot of money. Well, yeah, that's probably all the free wood that came from Typhoon U2. Oh, yeah, I hear you. The rabbit hole. I know what you're talking about. So anyway, but that grandstand that they're going to have for the parade is actually, it looks like all that wood that's left over from the U2 stuff that's over by, excuse me. Oh yeah, just shine the microphone, Brad. Do that. Everybody loves that. That's over by the soccer field in Kobler. And all the labor is from the folks over at DOC. That's a big corrections project, and that's awesome. It is really outstanding. In fact, it gives me an idea. One second. Okay. 1 second. I'm messaging him right now. Okay, just sent a real quick message. All right, so anyway, so that's that. We'll see if we can't hear more about it a little bit. Oh, I like it. I like it. Good job. Well, I'll tell you what. If you have the ad blockers in, you're not going to see any of those ads on YouTube. I'm watching you guys in the comments. You don't have to watch any commercials on YouTube. Just like you don't have to see the ads on these websites if you're checking the news. You just put an ad blocker in your web browser. It costs you $0.00, and you don't have to see the ads anymore. That's the best part. I don't actually know who still sees those ads. Well, anyway, let's worry about what's going on right now. It is a little cloudy outside. It's a little dark looking. It's still dry. That's because of the forecast today. We're sitting at 82 degrees right now. Humidity's at 85%, and it should drop throughout today. But right now we're at partly sunny skies with a high near 88 with a very light wind out of the southeast at 6 miles per hour. Pretty easy. Tonight, it's going to drop all the way down to 76, partly cloudy skies, 3 to 6 miles per hour. Were you guys looking up at the stars last night? It was amazing. We were up there looking, by the way, we have like 1 million satellites flying overhead these days. If you get to a place where you don't see all the lights from Saipan, you can legit see all of there's the guy who knows about the stars in the skies, Joshua Brazel in the comments. Good morning. Great to see you. But for real, we were watching all of them fly over last night. I saw a couple of bright flashes. I'm not talking about lightning. It looked like, excuse me, like a very, very bright star that just popped twice. And then that was it in one sector of the sky when I was just looking up at the stars. No, I was not eating mushrooms. Thank you. No, I wasn't smoking anything either. Kind of not my game. But the other one is all those satellites in the sky. I mean, you just see them zooming over, and I wonder what is going on. I mean, of course, that's because of Elon Musk, right? He's got a whole bunch of those Starlink guys up there. But also, there's 2 carrier groups that are out in the world right now, in our part of this world anyway. You got one of the good guys and one of the bad guys. That's right. The Chow Nice. They're out there. And so they got a carrier group out there. I wonder if some of that is just GPS, global positioning stuff, our stuff and their stuff. And then, something else that might be tracking. Who knows? But it's up there. They're moving around. And it's wild to look up at the stars. I can't imagine. Like, it used to be so exciting when you would see something moving in the sky. Like, ooh, that's the space station. Now, there's just all kinds of stuff up there. Like, it's nonstop. You are just seeing everything zip around. Tobot says two nights ago he was able to see the ISS pass from north to the south the whole way. We saw it too. It was wild. They have an app for that, by the way, where you can just track the International Space Station so you can see when it's coming. It'll give you alerts so you can go and look up in the sky and see it as it's going by. You can wave at them. Yeah, they're probably not going to see it. But that's all right. You can still do it. Connie Park Baza, good morning today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Great to see you. Joshua Brazel, great to see you, my man. I want to see some more of your footage. Your stuff is outstanding. Says you have a time lapse of satellites flying by. Oh man, drop me a link. We'll pop it on because it's great. Luta, hey, thanks so much all the way from Rhoda. Luta Marianas, great to see you. Thank you for jumping in and joining us this morning. We're going to talk about some of the big things. And one of the big things, wait, before we get into that, I just wanted to give a reminder. You can vote for your state fish. Look, it was extended. It was supposed to end on May 30th, but they extended it. Maybe they didn't get the vote they wanted, or they didn't get enough votes. But either way, that's not going to happen this time because we're going to help them make sure they get enough votes for your state fish. Who is your state fish? I don't know. I like to eat the bonitas. That's probably my favorite. But I think that angelfish, that butterfly-looking thing, looks pretty good. Yeah, I mean, that's the guy who helped Nemo escape from the fish tank. I figure that's got to get you something. That's got to get you some kind of street cred, right? The trevally, the EE, I don't know. But I know a lot of people love it. It's a perfect fish. So I don't know. I don't know if it has the Riz. I don't know. So you cast your vote. You could zap it right there on the screen and go ahead and hit that QR code. so you can support and vote for your state fish. So that way, hey, later you can't say, hey, I didn't vote for him. It's okay. Moni, thanks for tuning in all the way from Fiji, home of Fiji water. That's right, the sweetest tasting water in the world. Fiji water. And Mogish Singh. Moni, good to see you, man. Kurt Barnes, Dr. Barnes, great to see you. It was so great to see you. You're out there in California now, but thanks so much for taking the time to pop in when you and the folks from the Peace Corps made their way in. Thanks for help setting up that interview. It was so great. It was enlightening. I loved the interview. I really loved it. Luta, you want more choices for the fish? Oh my God, I'm with you on that. I totally get it because I would too. But here's the deal. They put out a whole bunch of reasons why they picked the fish that they picked. And we went through it yesterday. Like, I would pick a different fish. I'm hashtag Team Tungisen. I love the Napoleon wrasse. Like, I think that's a pretty cool looking fish. And they're talking about the fish need charisma. Who's got more charisma than a Tungisen? With those kind of lips, you walk into the room, you're getting it. You are hooking up. By the way, that is not the way you want to call it when you're a fish, probably. You don't want to hook up when you're a fish. Oh, the Tatska, that's a good fish. That's a great one. It's like, Dalai, there's a lot more fish in our waters. Hongan. I like that fish, man. That's a fish you just throw on the grill and you just eat it. I'm good with that one. I like Palaxi too. Like, I mean, like these are good fish for me. But if you're looking for, like, if I were the one who just got to submit a fish name for it, I'm Team Tungisen. But I could easily be, see, like, you guys named some good fish. There's some good ones out there. But F that triggerfish, man. No, I would want to put a bounty on triggerfish. I know they do them for like for the lionfish or those angelfish, you know, the ones that if you touch them, you're hurting pretty good. Yeah, you can get those. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where they got fishermen going in and just bagging and tagging them. And I think they pay like a bounty for them. Oh, they look beautiful. They really do. But also, no. Stonefish. I also don't like stonefish. Is there a reason why we shouldn't get rid of stonefish? I don't know. By the way, enjoy it while we can today because we got two groups of people coming in. We got the folks from Triple J going to come in. They're going to be talking all about the 2025 Bubble Color Run that's going to be taking place on July 5th. It should be amazing. I'm really excited to hear more about it. Also, we're going to have the NMI wrestling team, the guys who are going to be going over to the Pacific Mini Games in Palau. They're going to be out here. It was great. Oh man, Kurt says being on your podcast during the Peace Corps reunion was one of the highlights. Thank you. No, thank you. It was awesome to have you in here and to hear like from people who were there in our Marianas and helping out and hearing so much about what it was like and the conversations, even getting the micro games started, but like getting just hearing what life was like in the Marianas, especially from the point of view of someone who wasn't from here. To hear like what it must have been like and to see the growth of the Marianas, you know, and to see what it was like. Again, just a different perspective. I love the local perspective of it, so I can hear it about like how the culture has changed and then the developments and weighing it back and forth. But you know, just imagine some folks who are just rolling in from the mainland in the 70s. Driving their Barracudas, rolled up cigarettes on their sleeves, grease back hair. This is not them. I'm just kidding. But coming to here, when I heard there wasn't much in the way of paved roads, there weren't traffic lights, there weren't street signs. I mean, I was here before there were street signs. But man, seeing all that stuff for the first time, I wonder what it was like. And that's before the internet and everything. Like, just imagine what life was like. That change of culture for you and all your folks who came out here to make a difference in this part of the world. It was really wonderful to hear it. I loved it. Bruce says stonefish is on too much seaweed. Yeah. He says, shall we try to get the All-Star manager on the show too? 100%, Louisa. Yes, absolutely. Yes, and more yes. I know they're going to be leaving soon, but yes is the answer. 100%, 10 times out of 10. Luta says he'll take Tanguisen over Kitsu. Okay, cool. Hey, good morning. Ritsuk, great to see you. Thanks for tuning in this morning. All right, so let's get to it now. Now that we're all fished out here. The big announcement yesterday, this is what we ended up doing. We were going to go to a big party last night. I was kind of excited about it, to tell you the truth, because I got to hang out with the guys at Last Shot 2 nights in a row, but it was not to be because we got a message 2 days ago, and it was, hey, we got something to tell you. Galvin's going to make an announcement. Can you be at his house? We'll give you the directions. And also, can you not tell anybody until then? And then when you get there, you can stream it, but can you not start until 5 o'clock? Okay, deal. So we ended up doing that. All the media folks were there. You had Tomas and Mark from Marianas Press. You had Emmanuel Arellano from Marianas Variety, and you had Dan Shore from KSPN. By the way, Miguel Dandan is the one who did all that calling and arranging for us. And Jeff Shore had the best comment of the night. I absolutely loved it. He's like, Dan Shore says, if I was to marry, or if he was to marry Miguel Dandan, his name would be Dan Dandan. I just freaking love that. I don't think they make a handsome couple together. I don't know. But I'm just saying, the name Dan Dandan would be great. I don't know. That would be, do you think that they could make enough bad decisions to have a kid in the family of Dandan named Dan? And what if his middle name is Daniel? Like, is that too much? Dan. And if it was Dan Shore marrying Miguel Dandan, when they enter the room, would they go, Dan, Dan, Dan? I know. You can start throwing rocks at your computer right now. Throw your phone on the ground. Not funny. I get it. But it would be funny. Dan from Dan. Yes, they would have to relocate. Especially if they were appearing on Dan Marianas. Dan from Dan on Dan Marianas. I love it. That's the deal. Well, anyway, all Dan-danning aside, Galvin De Leon Guerrero, the president of Northern Marianas College, the former head of Mount Carmel School, and avid runner, is going to run for U.S. Congress. That was the big announcement that happened yesterday. We were there. It was a stirring speech. He said some things that we liked for sure. Said something I wasn't in love with, but you know what? You can't love everything. But one thing that was telling, because he didn't mention this during the announcement, he mentioned it in that little press engagement afterwards, that he is running as an independent. So he had folks there who were from all the parties, who have represented folks from all the parties at one time or another. But specifically, he was there saying that he's going to be running as an independent. And that's really interesting. And we asked him some other questions about why he decided to run and, what was the genesis of that decision and all that. So where did that happen? Well, let's find out. We can actually pull that up for you. Just to get you a real quick clip. This is from yesterday. And, oh, man, I just saw that was great. We're going to be talking about that, too. Paradise Dental. We're coming to you guys in a minute. But I want to talk about this part because this was the big news yesterday. This was our big event. This is why we didn't go to that party. It's because we were already up north, and, the fam was at the beach, so we were going to the beach afterwards. I mean, I got to family it up. Hold on, scrolling through. By the way, yesterday was a live streaming palooza for us because we had a big announcement, and then we had the liberation activities, and then we had the baseball game, which we're going to get to again, Tobat. Don't worry. Yeah, Lieutenant Dan. I got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. All right. Let's see if I can't get to the toward the end of this thing. 1 second. Hold on.
Someone who's going to be able to work together with our local leaders, and not sort of berate them.
Let's get to that. Hold on. Let's go to.
I ran into people. I ran into employees. I ran into students who were.
This is the press conference afterwards.
All right.
Hold on. I'll just mute that for right now. I'll get it ready on the screen for you so you guys can see it. But that's going to be it. Full screen it so it's on there.
Hey, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you don't have to suck it in if you stand behind a sign. That's the best way.
Yeah, I love it. Victoria's like, hey, we're going to have to... She's like, we're going to have to suck it in. Anyway, this was the photo afterwards when everyone was all together. So they had, like, Mark was up there taking the photo for Marianas Press.
1, 2, 3. Gentlemen for Congress!
All right, and then this is the part where you see everybody. They're like, all right, we're going to pull them aside and do all this. So I'm like,
We got
just
it.
trying to be kind of chill.
Everyone's here together.
But that's where you'll start seeing the reporters swooping in like sharks. Like, all right, we'll come over there. We were going to let him talk to his family and shake some hands. But no, we'll just go right in his face right away. So I guess that's how it goes. I think Miguel was there trying to say, hey, let's get you. All right, so here we go.
Can you tell us, are you running as an independent Democrat?
Oh, good question. I am running as an independent.
And are you resigning from NMC immediately, or how does that play out now?
No, I've been working closely with our Board of Regents, as well as our legal counsel and the college leadership. We're going to comply with all applicable policies and procedures of the college. Tomorrow, I understand that the board's going to be releasing a statement soon, but basically, long story short, I will take a leave of absence as soon as my candidacy is certified later next year. Until that time, I will continue serving as president of NMC.
And can you tell us how you plan to, if elected as an independent, work under a Trump administration?
Well, going to open up Congressman Kilili's playbook. He was very effective at securing important legislation for the CNMI while Trump was president the first time around. And that was also Republican Congress. So that's one reason why I'm running as an independent is I want to be able to work with both sides of the aisle and ensure that the CNMI benefits from legislation.
Gelvin, what made you first decide to run for office? Where did the whole idea come from initially?
So the idea came when the idea was planted in my mind the first time there was an announcement of a pause on federal funding, and I remember meeting with my team, trying to make sure that everything was stabilized at the college to ensure that our programs would continue to run, that our students would continue to be served. And as soon as I did that, I went around campus just kind of checking in on different offices, different programs, different people, and just trying to provide them with assurances that, hey, we know it's uncertain right now, we know it's turbulent, but we're assuring you that we're going to take care of you. And I ran into people, I ran into employees, I ran into students who were in tears because they were shook. They didn't know what was going to happen, and they were so scared. And that's when it first hit me that, we've done a lot at the college. We've done a lot. Since coming on board, we've been able to make sure we got buildings off the ground. Our student center is almost done. We're going to be breaking ground on more buildings. We're making incredible progress in a lot of initiatives like Sea Grant, and we were able to secure a lot of programs like the Next Gen Grant. But all of that is in jeopardy, and that's when I realized maybe there's more I can do for more people, because I also became aware that many of our students rely on Medicaid. They rely on food assistance. They rely on a lot of programs that are in jeopardy right now. So that's when it first occurred to me. And then I started listening session with my families, with close confidants, with family and friends. And that's when through that process, it took several months, but that's when I decided.
Dr. G, you're the first candidate that officially announced candidacy for next year. Why this early?
Well, because the problems are here with us now. And I want to be able to get out there and talk with our people, really listen to our constituents, listen to business leaders, listen to people living, throughout the villages. I want to find out what they're experiencing right now, because we're reading all the headlines, right? Yeah. And the headlines are causing a lot of fear, causing a lot of uncertainty. But I want to get out there as soon as possible and find out what are people going through. So that's why I want to start early.
Last question. What do you think the NMA delegate should not be doing?
What do I think the NMI delegate should not be doing?
That's Arnold from the Variety, by the way.
Well, let me answer a different question that kind of answers that question. Because some people have asked me, well, what am I going to do differently than Delegate Kim, right? So I can think of three things. First, you know, there are things happening in Washington that need representation from the CNMI, that need someone from the CNMI who will speak up for us. I kind of like what Mayor R.B. Camacho's slogan is, if you see something, say something, right? Well, in my mind, if you see something, say something and do something. When there are when there are actual cuts to programs like the scholarships that benefit students because of cuts to the National Science Foundation, you know, our delegate should speak up, should say something and do something. When there are proposed cuts to critical programs like Medicaid or federal financial aid or a whole range of other programs that benefit our people, food assistance, who is going to speak up for us? If you see that happening, say something and do something about it. So that's what I intend to do, is to say something and do as much as I can. The second thing is that, you know, Kim and I, we go way back. Like, we both served on the Board of Regents, and, you know, we have a lot of respect for each other. And I think one thing that's very different about the two of us, and perhaps because she's an attorney, is that she tends to maybe be a bit more adversarial. Whereas, I mean, I can certainly be adversarial when the need calls for it, but I prefer to be much more collaborative. I prefer to, you know, go out and talk to someone instead of, you know, talking down to them. And, you know, we need someone who's going to be able to work together with our local leaders, you know, and not sort of berate them. You know, I see a lot of good people here on island, whether they're in elected office or appointed officials or in the public and private sectors. I see a lot of people doing their best to try to, you know, turn things around here in the CNMI. And the last thing we need is for someone from Washington coming back and sort of, you know, dismissing them. We need someone who will be in DC who will speak up for us. And then I think the third thing is that I've always focused on what was possible. That's the way I've always rolled. Like, you know, when I make films, one of my students coined a phrase, it's not low budget filmmaking, it's no budget filmmaking. We've made some incredible shows with almost no money. So I don't like to focus on why things can't happen. I like to ask, how can we make it happen? And believe me, I know Washington, D.C. is the swamp, right? And the political landscape is a difficult landscape to work in. But that's no reason to sort of throw your hands up and say, well, this is the way D.C. works and there's not much we can really do. Kilili was able to do something. We should be able to do everything we can to exercise our agency to do something and not just say, hey, nothing can be done. That's the way I operate, and that's the way I intend to operate. And, you know, rather than sort of coming back to the CNMI and saying, hey, this is the way D.C. operates, this is what's going on in D.C., we need to go to D.C. and explain to D.C. what's going on here in the CNMI.
And Dr. G, who's on your staff? Who's your campaign manager? Who's in your core team?
Okay. My campaign manager is, for now, is former Congressman Kilili, and my treasurer is former CNMI Secretary of Finance and my aunt, Lucy Nielsen. Those are the two official ones right now.
Will the college be in good hands?
The college will always be in good hands. To be sure, we've been able to do a lot. I've been privileged to work with an amazing team, and I've been able to really spur a lot of things to happen. We've been able to make sure we got started on that student center, which is almost done. So building on the great work that was done before my time, making sure that was expedited. We're going to break ground on 4 more buildings. We're making incredible progress in a personal initiative of mine. The Sea Grant program is looking very promising. We were able to launch the Green Growth Initiative. We're able to secure the Next Gen grant for the college. We were able to bring back the SBDC. So definitely under my leadership, I've been able to accomplish a lot, but I've also made sure to cultivate leaders around me and to create a framework so that the college will continue to succeed even if I have to leave.
Dr. G, what's going to be your economic agenda when you win, if you win?
Well, two things. First, I want to really listen to people. I definitely have my own ideas, okay? And I want to get out there and talk to people, talk to small businesses, talk to big businesses, and learn from them, okay? But right off the bat, I know that we can and we need to do a better job of leveraging what makes the CNMI unique. Right now, there's a tariff war going on, right? And we can leverage our unique tax structure where we are exempt from tariffs, but we're also exempt from the IRS, right? And we can attract investors. And I know that there have been efforts in that regard, but that's one promising area I see. Another thing I see is I've always been about education. That's been my life. And I know for sure that an educated community is a prosperous community. And I see education under assault right now from K through 12 through higher ed. And I intend to ensure that our schools, our educational systems get the support that they need so that they can ensure that we have an educated citizenry. But third and last, in terms of like some ideas I have for reviving the economy, is we need to, and I know this gets thrown around a lot, but we really need to diversify our industries. One promising industry, and I'm convinced that if we had the right pieces of federal legislation, federal funding, and even federal networks and national networks and partners, we can do a better job, a much better job at improving food security. We import over 90% of our food. We need to be exporting. During the right after the Japanese era, throughout the trustee days, we were exporting taro to Japan. And when we look at sort of the revolution in food science that's occurring in the world, there's a preference for cleaner, more organic food that is free of toxins. We are a ripe environment for that. So we can do more than just meet the food needs of the CNMI. We could become the breadfruit basket of the Pacific. And we just need to make sure that we marshal all our forces to make that happen. Like, for instance, like one specific thing I've been pushing to do with Congressman Kiluli, and I've even mentioned it to Delegate Kim, is farmers in the U.S. get very generous subsidies because farming is a difficult boom-bust industry, right? So why are the farmers in the CNMI not benefiting from that? We may be a small island, but there's nothing small about our aspirations, about our ambitions. So we need to do more to secure programs like that through legislation to ensure that we're propping up people that need the support here in the CNMI to diversify our economy and improve our economy.
You know, there's a lot going back and forth about the whole, between the administration and the Congresswoman's office right now about tourism coming from China, Annex 6, EVS TAP, all of that stuff. Do you have any thoughts about any of that?
Yeah, I don't think we should be so insular in our approach to tourism. I think we need to separate between the Chinese people and, you know, the Communist Party, of course. But you know, like at a recent economic forum put on by the Saipan Chamber of Commerce, I learned from the Tourism Board of Hawaii that over 80% of Hawaii's tourists come from the continental U.S. I mean, that's crazy. We're all thinking that it's all Asian tourists going to Hawaii, right? So, sure, there may be more flights going to Hawaii, but we're not that far from places like New Zealand, from Australia, from places throughout Southeast Asia. You know, and I think we really need to revise and refine our scope of what it means to be a tourism destination.
And in your speech, you did mention, and correct me if I'm wrong, because it just happened, that we're not benefiting enough from the military buildup. This comes on the heels of the CGMT EIS happening just in a few days. So when it comes to the military buildup, if elected, what's your vision there?
Well, my vision is to ensure more specific provisions for the CNMI so that we are not having to... One of the challenges about being from the CNMI is that we're competing with states like California for grants and contracts. And For example, recently the college Small Business Development Center, we applied for the Apex Accelerator grant or program that would support small businesses to secure more contracts with military, the Department of Defense. We were turned down for that, even though we had high-ranking DoD officials that said we were going to get it. We didn't get it. And that's really not fair to our small businesses who are just chomping at the bit to serve this growing industry. Another thing is that we need to work with definitely through legislation to ensure that military development equals as much economic development and infrastructure development as an airfield. Furthermore, I think we need to try to work with the Department of Defense so that we're not having to import as much foreign labor. Like there are truck drivers on Tinian from like Virginia or Turkey. Why can't we have someone from the CNMI driving that truck? You mean to tell me our people can't learn how to drive that truck? So there are a lot of things about the military, the growing military industry that are leaving the people of the CNMI behind. And I've seen it firsthand, and I've tried to make sure that our people are not left behind. But I think there's a lot more I can do in D.C.
And Dr. G, just one last question. I know you said your plan is to resign next year. Is that correct? When you officially file your papers, which is not immediately, right?
No, the policy is that I take a leave of absence, and so that's not resigning. If the board chooses to keep me, that's entirely up to them.
Oh, so it's a board decision?
It's a board decision, okay. Yeah. But the policy allows me to take a leave of absence, and if given the humbling privilege of representing the people from the CNMI in U.S. Congress, I will definitely have to resign. But when I certify my candidacy, I don't have to resign just yet.
Okay, I'm just curious if you wonder if this announcement might have any impact to ongoing projects at NMC, given the political nature of it all.
Well, I mean, I would be naive to think that politics doesn't affect us here in the CNMI, but we've always taken great pride at NMC on being a political-free zone. We make that a very deliberate, intentional effort. And I remain committed to doing that, and I don't see that changing.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, that's what we got. That was the post announcement press engagement with the new candidate for office. And one of the things I thought was interesting. It was a great question. It's like, why now? You're the first person to declare. So why are you deciding now, or why are you announcing now that this is something that you're going to do? I mean, it's June of the year before the election, right? So who starts that early, right? And that's a little bit wild. So he said, hey, the problems that we're facing is now. So he wants to do it now. So, I mean, hey, what time are you going to do it? When are you going to announce? Oh, man. I don't know. I've never run for office, and I don't know why you would pick one time over another. So that's his choice, and that's how he went for it. So I guess better now than later. Right? Why put off something tomorrow that can be done today? I guess that would be it. But, man, I'm exhausted just thinking about the possibility of another election. I know it's coming up next year, but man, it wipes you out. I was talking to one of the folks who was there yesterday. I'm like, oh my God, I just feel like wiped out thinking about the election. And the woman I spoke with said, I'm still wiped out from the last election. So I get you. I totally understand. I don't want to think politics. But man, I wonder what's really going to happen. Is it going to be something that's based on somebody who's there now and what she's doing in Congress with Kim versus what you think that Galvin's going to be able to do differently, an independent versus a Republican? And what's going to happen within the GOP? Is Galvin going to be embraced by this in-dem group that's going on? Who's going to run for governor? Who's going to be their person that they're going to champion? All that kind of stuff. We're hearing about who's going to run for governor. We're hearing about who's going to run for AG. We're hearing about all these things. There's more announcements coming out this weekend is what they were telling us. What are they? I don't know. But I've been told that there's big announcements happening this weekend. So stay tuned, I guess, to that. All right, we are going to take a real quick break. We got some guests coming in. They're getting ready to pop in here. And so we're going to go and take a real quick break. Don't worry, we're coming right back. We're not going anywhere far away. And we're also going to bring you the latest news from the Associated Press. Remember to stay here today at 10 o'clock. We're going to be bringing you the Lottery Commission meeting live from the DPS conference room. We'll be there, bringing it to you. There's a lot going on with the Casino Commission and the Lottery Commission these days, right? So we're going to bring you that meeting. Anyway, stick around. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Shauna from Island Skin Solutions. If you're looking for an alternative to waxing and shaving, we have a solution for you. Our laser hair removal offers long-lasting, safe, and effective results. This month, we're offering 15% off of our laser hair removal packages, which are already buy 3, get 1 free. If you're interested in laser hair removal, contact us to set up your consultation today.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. Got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
Hi, I'm Shauna Brenfleck, nurse practitioner and owner of Island Skin Solutions and Wellness Clinic. We are Saipan's only medical spa offering a wide range of services to meet your unique skincare goals. We offer exclusive medical grade skincare products that can only be purchased from a licensed medical professional. We also have the CNMI's only master esthetician who offers new patient consultations that include a mini facial tailored to your needs. Schedule your consultation today to get started on your skincare journey.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says he'll impose new tariffs on U.S. steel and aluminum imports on July 21st, depending on the progress of trade talks with President Trump. Ed Donahue has details.
The two met at the G7 summit in Canada.
President Trump and I agreed to pursue negotiations towards a deal within the coming 30 days.
Carney says the tariffs will be adjusted up or down based on the status of those talks.
We must reinforce our strength at home and safeguard Canadian workers and businesses from the unjust U.S. tariffs.
The Prime Minister says this could set off a global recession, and it's not just because of a trade war.
Actual wars, including wars that can have quite significant implication for commodity prices, global growth, aside from the human cost that comes with them.
Canada is the largest foreign supplier of steel, aluminum, and uranium to the U.S. President Trump has imposed 50% tariffs on steel and aluminum, as well as 25% tariffs on cars. I'm Ed Donahue.
Israel and Iran exchanged more attacks today, an Iranian missile damaging a hospital in Israel. Sam Mednick reports from Beersheba.
The top of the building is basically blown off, and you could still see smoke smoldering from the side of it hours later. This is a major hit from Iran in a major city on a big hospital, and one of the most significant hits since this conflict began.
As he weighs whether the U.S. military will get directly involved in the conflict, President Trump appears to be keeping open the door to diplomacy on Iran's nuclear program. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt reading a statement from Trump.
Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks.
And the LA Dodgers say they asked Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents to leave the Dodger Stadium grounds after they arrived at a parking lot near one of the gates. This is AP News. An African Baptist church is being rebuilt at Colonial Williamsburg in Virginia.
Janice Candiday of African American Community Engagement says the new structure will recognize one of the oldest black congregations in the country.
1776 is when we formally have the organization of a church, or it's documented. But these people were gathering before it was legal for them to even come together.
The original meeting house was destroyed by a tornado in 1834, and a larger church was built in 1856. But Colonial Williamsburg archaeologist Jack Gary says it was demolished in 1957 and was eventually turned into a parking lot.
Colonial Williamsburg began working with the descendants, the modern congregation, to understand this property better.
Candiday says it's not the first time black churches and other buildings have been covered over.
Moving a few houses would never erase the presence of these people.
I'm Donna Warder.
And I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Marianas. Hey, it is a beautiful day outside, and boy, you couldn't ask for a better day than today. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. You can still get a tan even when it's gray outside. It's true. It's a true story. Hey, 82 degrees outside right now at 8:30, and it's going to be partly sunny out there, but it's a lot brighter in here when you add in these two haircuts that are about to pop on the screen, and especially if the light's kicking off the back of my dome, we are going to have a brightness overload. We have a very special group in studio with us today from the NMI wrestling team. I want to say welcome to all four of you guys, and thanks for joining us on the show today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, so you guys are getting ready. Oh, yeah. You guys are getting ready to represent the Marianas in Palau for the mini games, and it's pretty wild. I mean, just the opportunity to be able to represent the Marianas anywhere, but especially a big, new, thriving sport that's been really building steam the last couple of years.
Yeah, we're real excited to go down and represent. We're taking these two guys and 3 others, so 5 wrestlers in total, and we've been working hard. Well, as you know, I've been on the show before on a phone call a couple of years ago, just talking about building this up, and this is our biggest year in regards to going down to competition and taking the most. Last year we took 2, but this year we have 5, and I've been working hard the last few months prepping, and these guys have been grinding it out 4 or 5 days a week, and looking forward to it.
Well, Rick, and most people know you guys, Rick Bauer, Jason Tarkong, and your new elk hunting inspired gear that you're wearing right now.
That's right.
I absolutely love it. But maybe can you introduce the guys that you brought with us today?
Yeah, certainly. Sitting right behind me is Vincent Palacios. We know him as Bang, and then Lincoln Manabusan. So Bang is wrestling 132 pounds. It's in kilograms, but for the sake of us here on U.S. territory and in the U.S. that might be listening, we'll call it 132 pounds. What's the kilograms on it? You're at 65, right? 61 kilograms? Yeah, see, I don't even know the conversions. So. and then Link, what about you?
I'm at 65 kg, which is 143 pounds, approximately.
Wow. Awesome. Where do you wrestle on that, Jay?
I'm not wrestling.
But he can. Look at these guys. I'm sure these guys could go out there and kill it right now, and there'd be some dudes in trouble in Palau this year. But
the 3, I guess, the 3 guys that aren't here are.
This is not problematic at all.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, we've also got Miles Borja wrestling the 188 range. Jarek Kismon, he's wrestling the 213. He's actually wrestling up about 10, 15 pounds heavier than his weight. And then we
Wow.
got Seth. Yeah. It's Miles and Jarek are roughly the same size, weight class, and rather than wrestle off, we just bumped one up so we can take 5. Or typically they would have to wrestle off for that spot, and we would only be taking 4. But
How much?
And then Seth Sablon is the other our 5th wrestler.
How much of a disadvantage is that when you jump up a weight class like that?
It can be substantial when you're talking about 2 guys with like when you're looking at world and elite wrestlers, and 10 pounds is substantial typically, and especially whenever people are cutting weight. Usually it's but in competition, when you cut the fat and you're down and you're really ripped out, and you're talking about that 10 pounds is typically muscle. So we've been talking about it and making sure make sure you're not getting underneath the guy and giving up and getting stretched out to where you're using that 10, 15, 20 pounds extra to really work you down to the mat and making shots on the outside and coming up. So we've been working on that and addressing the battle he's going to have with that extra 15. So
the thing you need to understand is the difference between wrestling. I'll say this here and I'll say it again later on. Wrestling is one of the most difficult sports I've ever done in my whole life, and I've done MMA. So with that being said and done, I guess the weight cut that you see in the UFC is done literally 24 hours before the competition.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys walk around at 200, they weigh in at 170. The next day they're back up to 200 or 185, but it takes them months, weeks. That's why you see, if you're familiar with a lot of UFCs, they're dehydrated. These guys are just, but they have 24 hours to recover. In wrestling, they have an hour.
Wow, so exactly ridiculous. The question I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Like, how much time do they have to try to recover for that? So, like, you have to be dialed in going into it. You don't have that chance.
Yeah, so you need to make that weight cut. Sometimes it's just a pound or 2, and first of all, let me talk a little bit about Rick. Rick is a phenom. He's born and raised wrestling from Philadelphia, a wrestling state.
Pittsburgh.
And when I met him Pittsburgh, sorry. when I met him, and that's all he could tell, and we both happened to be in law enforcement, and we just clicked. But then once I saw him get on the mat, once I saw him coach, he knows his stuff. He's at another level. So I really want to thank Rick and the board and his beautiful wife, Carrie, and of course, Catherine, Atal Tobes is also a board member. They've been phenomenal, but Rich has taken this to another level. And we know that in any competition, when we train, they train 5 days a week, 6 days a week at least. We're training 4, and we don't have a home. We don't have a home. We don't have a spot. We don't have the equipment. So we're very lucky to NMC to allow us a little space, and we got these little mats that we're training on. Cookie, Alvarez, and Trenchek has been a really big family where they've supported us, and they give us the mats when they're not using it on Saturdays and Sundays if need be. Crown Plaza with their beach. And then we started our very first practice at Saipan Submissions, which was great for the initial, but there was a fee. And again, no home, no money. So we really appreciate all those people who helped get us through the first couple months, because we are the smallest team that is going. There's only 8 of us as compared to some teams who are sending 20 plus over 30 people. So again, going back to Rick, ever since he took the reins and he's brought our level, the advantage that we had our last competition, we had seasoned wrestlers who are from the NMI, but train elsewhere, whether it be Idaho or whether it be Guam or whatever. So they brought back that knowledge, and the programs are constantly, where we're still trying to kick off our program. So the new wrestlers, the 5 new guys, these young guns, have been brought up to the past. Our first practice was April 29th, our first official.
Wow.
Rick had his eye, looked at them, okay, this is what he set up the program, and they are 1,000 times much better than the first day they stepped their foot on the mat. We're lucky that a lot of them have jiu-jitsu background, and they have trained with Trenchek and Saipan Submissions. So the difference between wrestling and jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu, you're comfortable in your back. As to wrestling, no. you don't want to, because you get pinned. Yeah, so you want to, So that transition, they've learned fast. But I really want to thank Rick with fundraising and the organization and his coaching level. He's made my job easy as far as managing the team and coordinating everything else with Namasa and the powers that be. But thank you, Rick. I really appreciate
that.
Well, that's great. We got Luisa Cabrera said, WWF got me thinking that I could do it too, till I jumped from the dresser and dislocated my elbow. I'm guessing there's no elbow drops. There's no people's elbow in what you guys are doing.
No people's elbow. Who was that? Luisa?
Yeah.
But yeah, you bring a dresser out to the wrestling room, we'll let you jump off it.
But where are you going to bring it? So you guys don't have that home yet. And,
no.
And the other thing you talked about, the mats when they're not using them. gym. When we had that conversation before, you said that's the hardest thing to get is they weigh a lot, they take up a lot of space. How do you get something like that over here?
We're working on that, and we have been, like I said, not to get into the full past, but when I arrived on Island 6 years ago, met Jason, and it's been a slow build. We're closer than we have been, but still not there yet in regards to a home and a mat. We're working, I don't know, hopefully I'm not out of place saying, but we're working without a gym on trying to get a home down there. And then, of course, maybe some other warehouse space if that doesn't come into fruition. But again, like you said, the mats are large. They're typically 38 by 38 or 40 by 40 feet. They're not like the wrestling mats of old back in the day in the 90s when it took a full wrestling team to lift them. So they're a bit lighter, but they're still bulky. So to ship them here, they're just pricey to buy them, and then the shipping is another couple thousand just because of how much space. So we have a guy in Guam that we're working with. He's got a couple mats. He runs a wrestling club in Guam, and his name's Tony Aquino, and he's working with us. He's a big supporter of us and likes to see what we're doing. We're actually going to be wrestling at Fedoshan Wrestling Gym on our way down through Guam. We're stopping in and getting a workout in Guam on Wednesday at Fedoshan on Tony's. On Tony's mats. So that's going to be great. That'll actually be our first practice on an actual full-size real wrestling mat.
Wow.
So, that'll be important for these guys to see as it pertains to spacing and getting comfortable in the space. We've been wrestling in really small spaces, and these guys haven't really seen the amount of mat space they're going to actually be allotted in the game. So that'll be a great first look. But hopefully we transition and respond well to going from that smaller size to a bigger size mat, and because that plays into scoring and strategy on the mat and how you use the edge and points for step out. So I guess back to the original question, yeah, we don't have the mat. We're still working on that. Tony's a big supporter, but I know there's some people in Island that really want to see us off well and have the right equipment and gear, and for safety purposes. We're launching each other through the air, landing on shoulders and heads. So when we're not landing on the right surface, it's, thank God, up to this point, knock on wood, that we haven't had any injuries, because we've gotten some bumps and bruises because we don't have the right mats, but we've avoided significant injuries. So that's something we're continuing to work towards.
This is like a theme for the teams from the Marianas of making do with what we got and then going and competing like hell whenever we get somewhere. I mean, like, we don't even have a pool, right? We got swimmers who are competing in lap pools and all that other stuff. One team trains at Jerry Tan's house in his pool. The other guys are at PIC in like that 3 feet of water. Anyway, we got Bing and Link. You guys, tell us a little bit about, like, what got you into this? It's a relatively new sport. It's not like mixed martial arts is new to us, but this, with the rules and everything like that, the differences. What made you decide to get this, and like, who approached you? How'd you hear about it? All that.
I feel like when I first moved here 3 years ago, like I just recently came back, I wanted to get into a sport here, and my daddy told me about Trench Tech and how they're a jiu-jitsu gym. And I actually used to do wrestling in the States when I was in middle school, but I never really got too far into that. So then when I moved here, I just wanted to try out jiu-jitsu, and then I was doing that for maybe 2 years, and I got pretty decent at it. And then only recently I heard about the end of my wrestling tryouts, and I wanted to give it a shot. My coach just happened submissions. He was telling me, it's an opportunity and to take it. So it's something that I was looking forward to. Like, I've always wanted to wrestle. Like, I always liked that aspect of standing up when you're grappling.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it, and I enjoyed it, and it started to remind me of me wrestling in middle school, and I wanted to take the opportunity. So yeah.
That's awesome. How about you, Bing?
Okay, so my dad, actually, I used to train jiu-jitsu a long time ago, like 8 or 9, and then I stopped for a little bit, and then recently I got back into it and just started building, and then my dad actually taught me, or like told me that there's a opportunity to go out to Palau and show your skills, and even though it's something new, but you can like learn and build up for it. Yeah.
So what do you like most about it now? Like how do you choose? There's so many questions. First of all, is this Greco-Roman style?
freestyle, Greco, beach, all three.
Yeah. Okay. And
The games will have freestyle, Greco-Roman, and beach wrestling styles. So all three styles.
Really? Yeah. No, they're not at the same time, right? So you gotta.
Yeah. So let me confirm that. Weigh-ins, let's say day one, it'll be freestyle. So you weigh in an hour at whatever weight, and then your weight might fluctuate 5 pounds lighter or 5 pounds depending on what weight class the next day. So you still need to weigh in and maintain. So you're going to compete. After that, you're starving. You're going to eat as much as you can, but not too much, because you need to weigh in the next day. Then the third day, beach wrestling, they're a little bit loose, but it's a larger category of pool. So there's like only 3 or 4, and Rick and so you're constantly weighing in 3 days in a row, and you're constantly competing 3 days in a row. So it will be 3 different types of wrestling.
So there's got to be some kind of a nutrition strategy for that too, right? It's not just grab a shovel and eat whatever you can. I mean, like you guys have a plan for some of that stuff to try to maintain where you're at?
Yeah, we've been fortunately with where we are in the weights, the weight class that these guys are in. We haven't, by no means, any of our guys are cutting substantial weight. I think Lincoln, you might have been probably cutting from the highest, and that wasn't terrible. I think maybe 8-9 pounds from the start. And I got these guys understanding months ago, hey, we do this over a process, over time. Cutting in the last hour or in the last day or two drains that life out of you, whereas you live at the weight. Like what I grew up, my dad and coaches taught me, you work your way down, live at the weight, and you get comfortable, and then it doesn't drain you, and your endurance isn't affected. So Lincoln, all these guys have done well. I think Link has dropped the most in that 8 or 9 pounds, whatever it's been, and over the course of the last couple months. So he's down to weight now, feeling good, living at the weight, and competing and practicing at the weight. So I don't think the nutrition thing is real rough on us right now, which is a good thing. That's in our favor, for sure.
And I think in Lincoln's favor, he's already told us that if he's even a pound overweight, come the day of the weigh-in, he's willing to cut his hair and shave his head.
No, I love it. Yeah, you get to share the same look, all you guys. That's it. Bang, you're next. Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
He's gonna take off his chain.
Yeah, that's it. So I've seen a couple of movies, and I had friends who wrestled. I mean, like the public school I went to, we had all kinds of cool stuff. We had a couple of different gyms, and then we had a third gym that was just for wrestling. They had those gigantic mats you were talking about, the one that takes the whole team to move. So they had them on the rollers. They would roll that out, and it would just be just for that stuff. They'd bring it over to the main gym for the big events and all that stuff. But all this stuff, like you got the scoring that I'm really not familiar with. I know there's the reversals, the takedowns, the pins is how you win it, right? Or just by points, and like how much time is it for each one of those? And then there's also 2 different positions, I guess, that you could go for, like in between those stoppages. Can you break it down a little bit for us?
One of the things before Rick goes is we've added one more day of training, video. So we sit there, he talks about the point system. He describes it's one thing to be training and understanding, but when these kids are wrestling and going back, you're too focused on, there's so much stuff going in your mind. But when you sit there and you watch an actual professional team going at it, or whether at the college level or the videos we've been watching, we understand it a lot better. So then coaches explain the point system.
Yeah. Like Jay said, we've had some film nights just to really focus on the rules, because the thing is, between these 3 different styles is 3 different sets of rule sets. So when you're talking freestyle, to your point, you start on your feet. Takedowns and throws are big. Greco and freestyle and United World Wrestling, which is the governing body of world wrestling, they've really, since my time of being young to now, is really focused on trying to make the sport exciting and interesting to watch. So it's all about action and continuous action and big throws. So whenever you're seeing it, again, for those listening that aren't familiar with wrestling, the Greco and freestyle is what you would see on the Olympics, those types of things. So a lot of feet attacks and leg attacks in freestyle, where 2 guys are on their feet and they're just trying to take the guy down the mat. And once you get down the mat in parterre, that bottom position, if you roll and expose a guy's shoulders toward the mat, like a 9-degree exposure or more, you get 2 points for that, for each time you do that. In Greco, it's similar, but you're not allowed to use your legs. Greco's all upper body. So there's no leg attacks in Greco. It's all throws and arms. You can't use your legs to trip. You can't grab the legs or anything like that. That's a penalty point. You get a warning. So Greco is just a different style, and there's no leg attacks at all. And freestyle is very much throws and leg attacks. But the point system is it's about takedowns and throws and big throws over your head, landing guys on their backs.
Suplex? Is that what you're
exactly.
talking about?
That's what these guys have learned is called a grand amplitude, a 5-point. That's your highest score game would be a 5-point throw. So anything feet to back that's maybe not be feet overhead. Feet overhead would be like a grand amplitude 5-point. Feet to back without that real extravagant feet over your head would be 4 points. A regular takedown's 2. A roll where you expose the back is 2 points. And if you push a guy out of bounds, almost like if you've seen sumo and you get a guy stepping out, the step out is a point, which is designed to keep everyone in the center. And again, that's designed to keep everyone in the middle in action and a lot of high activity versus guys hanging on the edge of the mat and not doing much. You can get a point for pushing a guy out just to encourage that to stay in the center. Greco, same thing. You just can't use your legs. But Greco is very much about big throws, big lifts. And then Beach, which is relatively new to the wrestling world, I'd say it's grown a lot in the last 10 years. The European circuit's grown big, but it's grown bigger as well in the U.S. But it's a 7-meter circle in the sand, and it's all on your feet. There's no ground wrestling. But so you take an opponent from his feet to the sand, and anything more than feet and hands touching is going to be a point. You push him out of that circle. It's also a point, like a push-out point. And a throw feet to back is an instant win. And that's a first to 3 points wins. And it's just a 3-point or a 3-minute match. Greco and freestyle are 2 3-minute rounds. And in freestyle, a win by 10 is a tech, and Greco, a win by 8 is a tech. I know I might be getting too in the weeds for people but so there are different scoring systems, and that's one thing that we've really been focused on as a team. These guys that are kind of new to this style, just being able to remember. They were just watching film last night, and they were asking, well, what if I accidentally touch the leg, or what if I fake the legs in Greco? Can I do that? I was like, well, you can, but so these film nights are really generating that. Those questions to get these guys thinking and learning. Because going one day you're freestyle, and then the next day you complete transition. Yesterday, coach was telling me to attack legs, take shots, and then today, don't you dare touch those legs. We're going to lose a point. So we're having a lot of fun with it. And I'm talking a lot. I'll let these guys get after it.
Yeah, so it's the creativity part is what he's talking about, what's watching those videos and stuff like that. Because I know, like, for soccer, so I didn't start playing soccer until I was 32. Right, so that's a little late getting into the game. But one of the things our coach told us, one of the ways you can get better at soccer, aside from all the practice, all the fitness and everything, is watch a lot of soccer, right? So watch it. You're going to be able to see how the game is played. You're going to see how it opens up. So I imagine for you guys, if you haven't been in it before a whole lot, to watch that kind of stuff has to be a benefit to you.
Yeah, I feel like it shows a lot of different styles because, we're only 5 people on the team, so as opposed to a large team where we get a different feel for everybody, we only have a limited amount of people for that. So when we watch film, we get to see how people use techniques, how people think during their match, how they handle adversity, how they handle being taken down.
Mm-hmm.
And just moving on from that, like in a lot of the film that we've watched on our film night, there's guys where they'll be down by like 8 points. And then in the last minute, they'll get like a big throw, like a suplex, and then they'll come back from that. So it just shows you to never stop wrestling, even if you're down by so many points.
It's got to be great. Tell me what it's like. Is it easier to stay focused on your training, knowing that you've got a big event coming up?
I feel like it definitely keeps us more dedicated and consistent with how we train and what we do in our training. For me, I'm obviously going to try my best, but I'm also taking it as an experience because after the competition, I want to be able to look back on what I did during the matches and how I can improve on that. So, I'm just ready for the experience.
How about you, Bing? Is this your first time representing the CNMI somewhere?
Yes.
So what is it? How old are you?
16.
16, and you're going to be representing the Marianas in the games. Amazing, right?
Yes.
So can you tell us, like, what does that mean to you? Maybe some of your friends, family, have they told you anything about it?
I know a lot of people that have represented the CNMI in like these games and stuff, and I just wanted to try it out. And hearing that there was wrestling and I like jiu-jitsu, I do it, and then I just wanted to take the opportunity to experience something different and something that could potentially be like a career or something like that. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. How old are you, Link?
18.
18 and 16. How about the other guys, Jay? The other guys on the team?
Two of them are 20. Jarek and C. Miles, who just turned 20. One of them is 20. He'll be turning 21 later on this year. And then we have another. Seth is 16 also. So
A real young team.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to be facing? A lot of those other guys? Do you know?
Here's the beautiful thing about wrestling. It doesn't matter how tall, how short you are, fat or skinny. It's by weight class.
I love
so
it.
You're gonna match up that somebody by your weight class, and then it's now limited to an age group, 20 and under. So it's 20 and under. So I only have 2 people who are 8 under the age, 17 and under. So there's 2 categories. That's the cadets, 16 and 17, which is maximum age is 17. And then if they want to participate in the larger, the higher age group, which is 18 to 20, they can. They just need their parents to sign the waiver. But that's basically it. So. Yeah, and then there's one thing I want to say about wrestling. It's a full contact sport. It's not like bowling or any other sport, which is also very physically demanding. But a jiu-jitsu, I'm going to steal this from a jiu-jitsu professor who said this. It's like you're given a math problem, you and your opponent, and you have to solve that math problem.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is your opponent knows the same math problem, and then he changes it. Now you have to adjust your formula to solve that problem, and he's constantly doing that. So it really becomes a mind game. I mean, your physical fitness, and we'll take care of that. The technique and everything else is up to you. So we really need, and these kids have really improved. So I'm impressed.
But that's the leveler. That it's only 20 and under. So that's why I was asking about like the team and how old they were. Like, are there some guys out there who have been doing this for like 20 years who have a whole lot of creativity? They've been doing it for a long time.
In this case, the hosting agency made that decision. So if it was Palau or CMI, because there is the open, and that's 20 and older, and that's pretty much unlimited. You can be up into your 50s or 40s senior division. That's not included. So not only in our sport, I know in other sports, they limited that at least half the team has to be at least. So Palau's really pushing the youth in here.
I saw that. So we had the guys in here from volleyball saying that half their team had to be like under a certain age. I think, I don't want to say it was under 18, but it was something like a youth age. Yeah. And is that a new thing that's been happening in the games?
I think with Palau, they really wanted to this year in Palau really focus on the younger generation and have the younger kids coming up into adulthood really represent the nation. I think that was a little bit of the talk last year in the wrestling side of it. So even from Palau's wrestling team, like they were really interested in getting the youth out. So those divisions, Palau didn't choose those age divisions. Those are UWW. That's across Olympics and World Wrestling, where it's the cadets are 15 to 17. Juniors are 18 to 20, and then the senior division is up. But so if you watch, everyone's governed by those age brackets or divisions. But Palau chose, hey, let's just really focus on the kids, the teenagers, the ones that are be coming up into adulthood, and give them the opportunity.
So we got the mini games. Now we need the Monamco games, so some of the old guys can get involved. That could be a big popular thing for us. Man, I'll tell you what. So now you guys have been doing this for a longer time. When you're watching these guys and you're coaching these guys, does that make you like want to get out there and do that too if the opportunity was out there?
So you mentioned the Monamco. So I think day 1, day 2, I jumped on the mat with these guys. Oh, I couldn't move the next day. But the difference between Rick and I, we're like 15 years apart. He still wrestles like a 12-year-old. He gets in there and he spanks these guys at his level, and he challenges them. The past few days, they're having a harder time getting Rick. But he's still, I mean, to see that heart and soul go in, especially with your head coach and lead instructor, just spank these guys left and right. It's awesome to see that kind of level. But for me, my knees, shoulders, as I'll be 60 next year.
Wow.
But my point being is, as long as I can walk and talk and move my shoulders, I'm okay. And put my hand carry luggage on top, I'm good to go. I wrestle with these guys. I can't move the next day. But you know, and hopefully, I was telling them in yesterday's video night that, hey, you guys, because when Rick is in the corner coaching you, you got to listen to him, because one day they'll be sitting in the corner talking to the youth. Because in any program, it's a 5-year program, whether it's baseball, soccer, 5-year program for you to develop to the level you want to be. You know, for us, we're lucky to have these guys with some type of martial arts background, especially with jiu-jitsu. But it's a 5-year program. So again, talking about the mats and a home and everything, we'd like to get them in young. He's got little kids that can wrestle, you know. But unfortunately, they're not at that age category. What's the minimum age in the UWW?
Well, there's schoolboy. It just depends. But yeah, the cadet would be the smallest age for these games. But they have schoolboy and the different age brackets.
Yeah.
But to speak to that, not to go beyond Palau, but that's a great segue into the overall vision for wrestling. And as we continue to work to get a home and a mat, that you mentioned Mononco, but all joking aside, that senior division is 21 and up. There's no age out. You could be, if you're tough enough and willing to, and you're 50, you could represent if you win that spot. So I'm thinking ahead to next year, which is Nauru and the Micronesian Games, which last year's Micro Games had a senior division, which is where we got 3 golds in with Junior and with Ryan. So that's going to be opened up, and that's kind of my pitch to those listening and those that know people that want to wrestle. Our goal here is not just 5 to in the future take down full teams. Even in the women's division, they have women's wrestling as well. We didn't have any this year, but always looking to keep building teams of 10. There's 10 weight classes per style, per age group. So I'm continuing to think about Nauru, and then in 2027 is Tahiti, and looking at those games and to build this team. And that's going to make these guys better. Like I tell them, the good thing about what I love about coaching wrestling is I've coached a bunch of different sports, and as a coach, you might have to figure out if you have 3 shortstops, you might have to figure out who your best shortstop is. Okay, that's my opinion. That's kind of subjective. But in wrestling, I got 2 guys at the same weight class. I put them on the mat, and who wins that spot.
Nice.
So it's really that depth on a team drives those guys to just get better within themselves and to earn that spot. So as we grow as a team and get more people on this team, it's going to force these guys to get better or get out or lose their spot. And so that's kind of my pitch to the sport and to NMI wrestling, is that the more we have, the better off we're going to be. And we're making plans for events beyond Palau in next week. So it's exciting stuff. And I'm looking behind you. I see Tobat says a lot of people will get into wrestling if they try MMA or jiu-jitsu. It's a phenomenal base. I tell these guys all the time, because they have a jiu-jitsu MMA interest and background, that if you listen to anybody, they're pretty much all the brains agree that wrestling's the best base. And if you want to get into jiu-jitsu and MMA, it's just a phenomenal base to have, and a lot of transferable skill sets. These takedowns and a lot of the movements and the technique we're doing transfers right into MMA. And if you listen to anyone like Joe Rogan, he'll admittedly say wrestling is hands down the best thing. So that's my pitch to the sport. Even if you never thought about wrestling and you got a nephew or a grandson that wants to get into it, we're looking to get in. We want a grassroots program and get these 6, 7, 8-year-olds out and start learning. Shortly after they start walking, to learn how to do a double leg. That's the idea here. So that's the hope.
I love it. Hey, we're up against the end of the hour, so we're gonna have to go. But before we do, one, I want to say that I love the idea of the open category. However, the idea of getting suplex sounds awful. So I got to be on the giver on that side. Any folks you want to acknowledge? Any shout outs to anyone?
Man, right off the top of my head, Jerry Tan. Namasa, ever since Jerry Tan, and you know as personally that Jerry Tan, since he's taken over as president of Namasa, has went from 0 to 60. I mean, we have the support of Namasa. We are the smallest team, but it doesn't matter. He gives us just as much support as others. I want to thank Jerry Tan. I want to thank his staff. Our point of contact, including yourself, is Roslyn. Thank you, Roslyn. I really appreciate keeping us updated and everything. And then, of course, now our chef de mission. He's got a full plate on his hand, but he is an experienced chef de mission. See Nick Gross. So I look forward to working with them, and I want to thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts, and of course Crown Plaza for allowing us to use their beach. I don't know if they know it, but we just use it. And then NMC, and then Miles Borja and the NMC MMA Club. For allowing us to use their personal mats, and small mats we're getting bumped and booze, and those are the people. And of course Cookie from Trench Tech, who's been a big supporter, and then his adopted son has been really Bang has been very he's funny. He's kind of quiet, but when he opens his mouth, this guy's funny. Sometimes I want to slap him in the back of the head, but he's a good guy. So thank you, Bang, for making it, and I look forward. This is a young team, and for the record, Micro Games, we were the only team that went undefeated We won every single match. We sent 2 wrestlers. These are facts. And they all came back with 3 goals each, 6 goals,
Wow.
100%. Now, we have a target on our back. We look forward to seeing that. So, we've been noticed, and that's 7 years of being absent. So I want to thank Rick. I want to thank those guys because they had the talent coming in. So this is a whole bunch of new talent. So they're going to be looking at us, but I'm confident we're going to do well.
And I know, just to add to that, Jason kind of said, but just to drive it home, Cookie Alvarez, Trench Tech's been insanely supportive of us, just giving us his space and let us encroach without hesitation. So awesome. My wife and Catherine, the board, NMWF board, through the fundraising and whatnot, my wife is Carrie has been tirelessly working and not always without annoyance with me, but but the community as well. We did these shirt fundraisers. We're selling hot lunches. That's kind of wrapping up. We're in the end stages of those, and the community has been very helpful and a lot of support from the community. Our wrestlers' parents and families really pushing hard for and supporting. So it's just been it's been a cool thing to see happen over these last few months. And it's exciting. We're excited, and I expect big things from these guys. I really think we have a great chance to bring back multiple medals. So we're looking forward to it.
Awesome, fellas. Anyone you guys want to give a shout out to?
Girlfriend.
Well, obviously, just Coach Rick and Coach Jason. You know, we came a long way. We've made a lot of progress, and they've really been pushing us really hard. And you know, my teammates have also been pushing each other. So I'm just really grateful to have this opportunity, and grateful for Coach Rick and Coach Jason.
All right, Bang.
I'm going. He
No?
said it all.
Oh, I love
He said
it.
it all.
Hey, you guys, I want to say thanks so much for you guys for coming in and sharing a lot about this. We're excited for it. I bought one of those last time. I got one of these this time. I got the white one now, and they look great. And so are they? Can people still order those?
No orders, but you can reach out. Our Facebook page is NMWF Wrestling.
Okay.
At Gmail.
Well, that's our email. But yeah, we have a Facebook page, NMWF, but we have select sizes in some of these styles. So there's the pre-order's over. But if you want one, reach out to me. I'll let you know if we have the size. They're quite comfortable. They look nice, and of course, all of our proceeds go to supporting these guys and our future efforts.
All right. Well, you heard it from our wrestlers who are going to represent us in Palau. It's not too long ago. In fact, not too long before they get out of here and take off. You can follow them now. This is their page, Northern Marianas Wrestling Federation. They even got a WhatsApp button on there and everything. Look at that. That's somebody in a bad position right there.
That's Junior's final match in Greco, and he souped that guy. It was beautiful.
That is sick. Oh man, I am
Junior and Ryan Babata. So
that's awesome. All right, well guys, that's gonna be it. We're running a little bit long, and that's it. So we're gonna throw it to some commercials, and then we're gonna get out of here because we got to bring you guys that live meeting over at the Lottery Commission at DPS headquarters. So I want to say thanks to you guys for jumping in here with us. Thanks to you guys for watching. We'll see you in about an hour, and we'll see you in a bit. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shauna from Island Skin Solutions. If you're looking for an
Thank you.
alternative to waxing and shaving, we have a solution for you. Our laser hair removal offers long-lasting, safe, and effective results. This month, we're offering 15% off of our laser hair removal packages, which are already buy 3, get 1 free. If you're interested in laser hair removal, contact us to set up your consultation today.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. Got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
Bounce.